Ja, du erstmal.
So,
Mathe.
hier, herzlich willkommen am Donnerstagabend Jazzrock TV live mit Ralf und Georg. Hör mal.
Ja, wieder einmal. Wir halten das doch ziemlich
Wir haben uns gerade
regelmäßig
schon über
durch, muss
unsere
ich sagen.
Frisuren unterhalten, die wieder
Ja, hier
hier.
geht gar, bei mir ist, also ich habe ja eh nie eine Frisur, kann man ja nicht so nennen, aber jetzt ist doch wirklich der Friseur wäre mal fällig. Jetzt hängt ja alles wie es will, ne? Schrecklich. Trotzdem hatte ich eine gute Woche. Was war
Tatsächlich.
dein Highlight der Woche?
Mein Highlight ist der heutige Abend.
Ja, und davor?
Der Highlight war natürlich mit dir im Studio.
Ja, das war auch cool. Und sonst?
Weiß ich nicht, was war denn sonst?
Mein Highlight
Ist
war,
das die Gehaltsabrechnung
kann man
oder
es
was?
sehen? Meine Gehaltsabrechnung.
Halt.
Ich weiß nicht, ob man es sehen
Ja,
kann.
ach so, ja, klar.
Hör mal,
Das war der
am
Hammer.
Sonntagabend Hafner plays Hafner mit Thomas Stieger und natürlich Simon Ausländer an den
Das war
Keyboards
der
als
absolute
Trio.
Hammer, ja.
Das war echt mein Highlight der Woche und ich habe mich da vorher halt angemeldet und Karten gekauft und da stand dann in der Abrechnung, ja, Sie müssen 3 € Versandkosten bezahlen. Da habe ich gedacht, wieso brauche ich für einen Stream Versandkosten? Ne? Und dann haben die mir tatsächlich, ich weiß nicht, ob es bei dir auch so war, eine Karte zugeschickt, wie zu einem normalen
Echt?
Konzert.
Habe ich nicht bekommen.
Ja,
Was hast du denn da gekauft?
ja, ich habe halt dann
Ja,
die 3
aber
Euro noch bezahlt, habe gedacht, nee, gut, man muss alle unterstützen, ich zahle gerne und dann haben die mir die Karte zugeschickt und dann wollte ich die aber kurz vor dem Livestream irgendjemand geben, aber keiner hat sie
ja,
genommen.
so, hat
Dann
keiner
habe ich,
abgerissen. Aber das war in der Tat ein Highlight. Also wer es jetzt von denen, die jetzt hier online sind oder das schauen, das war der absolute Hammer. Dieses
ja, es
Trio,
war mega. Also die Musik von Wolfgang Hafner ist schon echt beeindruckend und diese Komposition mit so viel musikalischem Gefühl und ohne großes Show-off, we are the greatest und so.
ja,
Und alle drei sind wunderbare Musiker und haben das so mit einer Lässigkeit gespielt und mit so einer Spielfreude auch. Ne? Vor
ja,
leerer Halle, nur vor ein paar Jungs, die da die Technik gemacht haben vor
ja,
Ort. Ne? Das fand ich super. Das fand ich echt super.
ja,
Ne?
das stimmt.
Und
Aber wo du gerade hervorragende Musiker sagst, heute haben wir auch wieder einen tollen Gast, oder?
ja, wir switchen gleich Jazzrock TV in die Metropole Frankreichs, Paris, und heißen dort sehr herzlich willkommen Monsieur RENAUD LOUIS-SERVAIS. Hallo Renaud, comment allez-vous?
No, we can't hear you. No, you broke something.
So is it better?
Yeah, now with the
Yeah,
microphone it's better.
yeah. But perhaps you have the delay now, isn't it?
No,
No,
it
it's
sounds
fine.
good. So welcome to our show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's really cool to be back because I think the last time it was 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know, something like
Yeah,
that.
I
something
think
like
so.
that.
It's when
Something
you
like
Yeah.
issued your last album, right? It was 27,
Oh,
17,
yeah.
right?
That's it. Because it was I think more 3 or 4 years, but it's cool. We are still young, isn't it?
Exactly. We still feel young.
So, thank you for your invitation. That's really cool to talk with you guys. It's always a pleasure.
No, we were really impressed about your activities in the last weeks, month, what you did, projects that you started. In 2019, we already saw that you started the project with 50 plucked guitarists, and that was a monster orchestra. How did you put this together?
Well, it's a long story. It's a really long story, but I hope you have time.
Yeah, we have enough time.
Well, before you tell the story, we could give the audience a little impression of what it sounded like and what it
Oh
looked
yeah,
like.
for sure.
So if we do this?
Yeah, so that's I think that's the first track that you issued with that band. It was recorded live, right? Correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, let's have a view to this, and then you can explain how this all happened.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
Thank you, guys.
This was a massive project, right?
Yeah, it's really cool to hear that again, because I don't hear that so many times, so many often, and it's cool to hear that again. Really cool. It was an amazing moment, a human moment. Really cool.
But that when you come up with this idea, was there something triggering you? Hey, let's get 50 guitarists. So
Oh, it's a long. No, in fact, it's a long process. Years ago, perhaps I was, don't know, 25. I've joined a project that was amazing. It was perhaps, I think, 100 guitars in France. It was, in fact, a guy from New York called, his name is Rhys Chatham. It's a composer. And he had this curious idea, to have a lot of guitar players playing things, but it was really basic. He was searching more, he was searching for a kind of sound more than for specific notes. Okay. And I've joined this project, and we've played in a church really famous in Paris, la Basilique du Sacré-Cœur. I don't know if you know that. It's in Paris, really famous. Yeah, it's a huge. Exactly. It's a good culture. Good culture. Yeah, it's a huge church, and I remember that we were all the guitar players playing in this church, and the sound was just amazing. And sometimes it was like if you were listening to violins playing, and it was just electric guitars. So it gave me this idea. I said, okay, it's so interesting, but I would like to do something perhaps more built, more achieved. For example, I would like to do. I'm fond of symphonic music. You know, especially the Impressionist period, Ravel, Debussy, Fauré, all these guys. I really found of that, and I tried to combine, in fact, the two ideas: a bunch of guitar players, but trying to play symphonic things. You know, there are a lot of projects with great numbers of guitar players playing all the same things, you know, playing ICDC. All the guys are playing that. I love that. It's really cool. But they are all playing the same thing, and the sound is, you know, really brutal. And what I try to do there, it's more like in symphonic spirit. Each guitar player playing just one note at a time, no chords, and it's the amount of guitar players that is building the harmony, the global harmony.
Kind of an orchestral, you know, sound.
Yeah.
You know, if you would listen to it and you don't know about it, you know, you might say, "Hey, this is an orchestra playing." You know.
Yeah, I hope that's my goal. In fact, that's my goal, and also what I like. As I told it before, I really like the idea to have one idea that is really famous and trying to change it, you know, to transform it, to play the same thing, but with over meanings, over instruments or whatever. I really like this idea because it's cool for the audience. They know the melody, but there is something different and they don't know why. I really like this idea. So it was to combine all these ideas to try to do this crazy project.
And who are all these guys?
Wow. I don't
I
know.
mean, how did you get them together? Are those
Was there an
students?
audition?
Did you write on? Did you send a message on Facebook or something? Need some guitar players or whatever?
It's a good question because it's something a bit surprising to try to reunite all these people. In fact, they are all people that I know personally. There are perhaps 1/3 of professional guitar players in France, 1/3 or non-professional guitar players but friends, and 1/3 of students, because I'm a teacher, and I really try to do in this project something that can be playable by professional with a really hard things to do technically, and that could be played also by people that don't used to do that. See what I mean? That have a guitar culture, but that are not with professional things or speed leagues or whatever. So I try to organize my score really by levels, for easy level, middle level. See what I mean? Because I really like this idea to have some non-professional people playing with professional people. It's really humanly, it's something that is really strong.
Yeah, I saw people, different kinds of people, even a
yeah.
very young guy like
Exactly,
13, 14, and older guys. Yeah, great.
I have one of my students, he was just 12, I guess, yeah. And there are people that are 70 years. Okay, it's just a bunch of people, and I really try to, like in theater, you know, each character has something to do, and I really try to do the same thing, in fact. And I tried. Perhaps I didn't succeed each time, but I tried to let them stay in their comfort zone. Okay. And it was hard, especially for the last project, Star Wars. It was really hard because it was really technically a hard level.
But before you started, you know, recording and get into you know, connection with the guys, did you all the preparation and arrangement and, you know, writing?
Yeah, of course. In fact, what I tried to do, because I think it was too complex, too difficult to write 50 different scores, and perhaps the result wouldn't have been so musical. So I tried to divide, in fact, these 50 guitar players in 14 groups, and each group has 3 or 4 guitar players. So basically, there are just 14 different scores.
Sections, yeah.
Sections, that's it. And then to add more strength to this section, it's played by 3 or 4 guitar players. So each line is really, repeated by 3 or 4 guitar players. That was my idea, because I think it was better. And also I started from real arrangement from symphonic orchestras, and trying to switch from symphonic style writing to this way of writing things with 14 groups. It was working. So basically what I've done first is trying, for example, for the first project, for the Michel Legrand's project, I tried to reorganize the score with only 14 sections, and I've tried to see, is it working or not? And it was working with just 14 guitars. So it was really a surprise to try to see, okay, if we play that in live with 50 guitar players, will it sound? I wasn't sure, really. The day of the live, I wasn't sure.
How did you take that? You recorded yourself, all the 14 tracks, and then listen to it?
First I do that. And it was cool because it's like when you have, a new tool, you have to be familiar with that. You have to try to see how it works. And something didn't work at all. For example, at the beginning, I was using a lot of distortion, and it didn't work at all because all the sound was mixing. It was a mess. So I tried with just a crunchy sound, this kind of sound, really smooth, and this was working with a bunch of guitars. And I tried also with a clean sound, and it didn't work because I didn't have the sustain I was searching for, like on violin. I didn't have that. So the best result, the best mixing was, the best settings was this kind of crunchy sound. It was working with 14 guitars. And so the problem is, it is one thing to have in mind what you want to do, but when you have 50 guitar players in a sort of war to put the volume on 11, it's another thing, So it was what I've done the day we were recording and made the shooting. I've been with all the guitar players separately and tried to set the sound. Not so much distortion, it's okay. Crunch is cool. And we try to really manage the sound and the volumes, because it was really important that each section was the same volume.
Yeah, because you couldn't record every guitar on a single track.
No, we didn't have the meaning to do that. So what we've done is choose in each section of 3 or 4 guitar players, one guitar player with a dynamic microphone, on his amp, saying you don't have to fail.
No pressure.
No pressure. But if you fail, you leave out.
Okay.
And after that, we've put some ambience microphones all over in the room. So basically, we had 14 microphones, dynamic microphones, and all the ambience. And of course, the drum was recorded with a lot of microphones and whatever.
Yeah. How often did you do this? How many takes did you need it?
We organized that on 2 days. In fact, there were 3 days. First day was just putting the amps, trying to see if the Pro Tools was working, and it didn't, of course. All these things,
Technical
Second day was the rehearsal with all the people, because the people didn't know themselves. They were coming from all over in the France. There are some people that were coming from south of France, north of France, and they all meet together. We tried I tried to check out all sections if they were working independently. It was really rehearsal things, and after that we tried all together, and it was really amazing to see all these guitar players playing together. It was something that was really amazing. And the last day, we were with the right T-shirt.
That was a video shoot.
All was cool, okay. And we've shot the video. I think we've made perhaps 12 or 13 takes.
Mhm.
It was really cool, and we tried to kept each the good part of each, in fact,
Yeah,
for
of
the
course.
final mixing.
But you know, the track or the song that was selected by you. You know, what was the
Yeah,
selection? Was that a song? It was from a film composer, right?
yeah, exactly. The
Was
main
that a song that you had in mind already for years for something, or
yeah.
was the selection process?
In fact, the project is really about music film. It's really about that. And concerning the first project, it's not so famous. It's Michel Legrand is famous, but this music is not so famous. But I'm obsessed by this music for 20 years. I don't know why. I really love this theme. It's so beautiful. I love that. And I thought that it was a good candidate to start with, to give a try. I thought it was good because basically it was with a lot of violins, and I thought that it could work. So it was, the first video was a try, in fact. And after that, I said, okay, it seems to work. Perhaps I could choose something more famous. So John Williams. Okay. Star Wars was a good idea, I guess, and I tried to work on that, and it was much more complex than the Michel Legrand, because Michel Legrand was one melody, and I played with that, trying to add some drums, add some sort of pop rock, ambience at one time. But the Star Wars was a huge medley of. I tried
Several
to,
songs, right?
yeah,
It was really
Yeah.
several songs from the.
it's really long. Yeah,
And you produced it under Corona conditions.
exactly.
So you couldn't meet all the guys. You had to do it by chats and telephone, whatever, and try to get them together.
That's
And
it.
that
Exactly.
was probably even more challenging for
Exactly.
It looks amazing.
You said it.
I think when I saw it the first time, I already thought, oh, this must have been a massive, preparation, arrangement, writing, and everything. But
Yeah.
should we have a look and then talk about it?
Yeah, of course, please.
So we have, there's for all of the viewers, go to your YouTube channel and check the full clip. It's a long clip with all the songs, with
It's
an
10
amazing
minutes.
intro. It's really Star Wars style. It's an amazing clip.
Yeah.
But let's have 2 minutes of it.
I mean, what is sound? Sometimes it's the feeling I can hear those flute sounds
Yeah.
and brass sounds and whatever. So
Yeah.
it's much more sophisticated than the first project concerning who plays what sound.
Exactly.
Or?
Exactly. Yeah, and I try to. That's right what you say, because it's really something I try to focus on. Try to reproduce not the sound, but perhaps the sensation that you have when you have, for example, a flute playing, or or for example, violins playing pizzicati. See what I mean?
Yeah.
We can reproduce. We can perhaps not reproduce that, but we can be close with the guitar, with the muting, this kind of thing. And I really try to check the guitar and say, okay, what I can do with that to be closer to the symphonic way of using things. Of course, it doesn't sound like the violins, but it's close sometimes.
Yeah. It's really amazing what you can do with so many guitars.
So it was this.
And what part did you leave for yourself? The most difficult part, or
Yeah, I love difficulty, perhaps not the most difficult, but I was among the soprani because as I said, there are 14 sections, but all those sections are in 4 groups. Okay, from low to high, we have baritones, tenor, alti, and sopranis. And I try, as I said, also to try to have some difficult several levels of difficulty. And usually soprani are what I try to do the highest notes and the most difficult parts to play, and baritones was the lowest and the easiest to play. It was basically a lot of low notes during a load, things like that. So it was better for non-professional people. It was better for them.
were
So I
those
put
the same? Were those the same 50 guitar players as in the first project?
not exactly, because when I sent the scores to everybody, I had some curious phone calls.
Not again.
Sorry, but I can't do that. I have to go to the swimming pool, and really, I don't have the time to do.
Too many notes.
6 minutes and a half of music. Are you crazy? So no, yeah. More seriously, some parts were really more difficult, and also some people didn't have the time to do that because it was a lot of homework to be familiar with the score, and it was better for the people to say, Renaud, frankly, I can't do that. I don't have the time. So perhaps I had one half of the same people than previously, and one half of new people coming in the project.
But
Cool.
that again, that was most likely even more preparation. So you issued, I think, the clip in December, right?
Yeah, but it
But
was
how
1 year
long
work.
was the preparation and everything?
A 1 year work, really. Yeah, because I tried, perhaps in February or January to try to write the arrangements, and it was, the coronavirus was coming. I wasn't sure. I said perhaps I can do a live thing, but coming in March and April, I said, okay, that's
That's
dead.
it. That's it.
So I have to find another way to do that. I was keep on writing because I wasn't satisfied by some way things were sounding. So I kept on trying with my 40 sections, trying pizzicati, muting, okay, something. And I think perhaps in April the score was ready, but the people wasn't.
That would be my question. If, actually for both of the projects or the productions, what was? Do you remember some reactions when you approached people? Hey, I have this idea. What are some good or not so
Yeah,
good
okay.
reactions that you remember from the people that
The
participated?
I would say mostly it was good reactions, and mostly the reaction were. But are you sure I can play that? See what I mean? Because it's so huge, and I was trying to say to them, don't worry. I really try to write something. If I propose it to you, this section is that I know you can play it. See what I mean? And that was, well, yeah, the good reaction. It was really optimistic and say that's good. Let's do that. And perhaps the people that weren't able to do that, it was more something that first reason I can't read musical notation because it's really tough. There are some tabs for people that don't read, but it's really accurate. See what I mean? A quarter note is a quarter note. It's really
No
accurate.
matter
You
what.
can't. yeah, you can't go like that. It's really like classical music. It's the same problems like in classical music. And the problem, guitar players are, in a band, the
The
guitar player is
soloist.
usually
The
the one that
soloist.
does. Yeah,
Who gets all the girls?
yeah, but the famous joke: if you put a score on him, you can mute him. There is no sound if you put a score. So yeah, usually guitar players have don't necessarily a good, perhaps good level of reading music. It's really hard. That's why I was really needing professional people. And as a teacher, I really prepared backing tracks, scores, tabs, with click, without click. I really tried to make them in a comfortable way to work, even if we weren't working together, because it was, as I said before, it was with emails and all the stuff. But I tried really to do something that was comfortable for them. And the second problem on the second video was the video aspect, because they were shooting themselves. So I had to find an idea to have something that was the same for everybody, because you can't shoot yourself with, a wall that is pink and all people, the wall is green. It doesn't work. So I try to say to them, okay, try to have a white wall, okay, or white shirt or whatever, something white. And after that, during the video editing, I will try to improve the things. So it was really hard. Yeah.
And you did it all by yourself, right?
Yeah. Initially, I should have been helped for the audio
It was a plan,
and for the video, but things never happen when the same way you plan to do. So yeah, it's like that. So I like to mix things, but I'm not as good as a professional mixer. So I try to do my best. And same thing for the video editing. I'm not as good as something it's his job. I try to do my best.
Of course,
yeah. It's an amazing clip, I think that's a hell of work, to get this all synchronized and mixed and crazy,
Yeah,
but amazing.
really.
As said, go to your website and check the full clips. It's really worth to see that, amazing work.
Thank you.
I think
so much.
especially for the younger, I would imagine that especially what you're mentioning, the younger players, maybe your students, they most likely were be super amazed when this came out, right?
Yeah, really, really, it was really cool for them. They were the more optimistic of the band.
More
really
motivating, for them.
Yeah, it was because Star Wars, playing guitar, being on TV, being on the famous US website Guitar World had the video on their website. So for my young students, it was something amazing.
Yeah, out to the world,
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's why it's really important to have non-professional people, because they are the most optimistic and they really give you the strength. All is new for them. So that's really cool.
Of course, for the professional musicians, it was a difficult year, and it still will be the next time.
Exactly.
How is the atmosphere in the Parisian music scene? Is it depressed as in Germany? Probably.
Yes, something like that. We all try to do some projects. We all try to say, okay, this is a year we can't play live, so let's try to do all the projects we thought about before, and we didn't have the time to manage. So I think it's something like that. That's perhaps the reason why I'm so prolific these days, because it's a matter of life, of being alive, of surviving. So
my theory.
Sure, but I made the sorry, Georg. I made the experience that some guys became very productive and tried to make the best out of it. No matter who pays the rent next month or what, I've tried to do something. And some other guys, depends on what kind of person you are, became a little how do you call it,
kind of
lethargic,
depressed,
you know, a little depressed, and
Yeah.
creativity was lost, and what I'm gonna do, you know, who pays my bills,
Yeah.
and really hard times for
That's true.
artists and promoters, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. But you know, music. I think music is revealing the human nature. I mean, you are in the music like you are in your life, and it could be coronavirus, it could be other things. And when these things are coming, it's a matter of is it kills you or is it make you better or more. Yeah, I don't know the word, but you understood what I mean. And yeah, and I think music is the same thing. It just reveals how you can fight when these kinds of are coming, and the only we can do is doing more music. So we try to do some
That's a good
projects and
approach.
yeah.
Yeah, but people are different. You know? Some are
Yeah,
shocked
exactly.
and
Exactly.
can't find a way out of it, and some are productive more than ever. And
You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
And especially just to say the same thing, especially in the Star Wars project, some people were really happy because there were nothing happening in their life. Some people were really happy, other people were really depressed, and I have to convince them to do that because they were okay. You know, I don't give lessons. I just do live shows. There are no live shows. I'm about to to die, and they were really depressed, and I really had to convince them to be part of this thing. See what I mean? To do something.
Yeah, to have a task, to have a goal, to have a challenge, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And how is the atmosphere in like in Paris general?
It's a bit hard.
When I was in Paris, I see people on the streets all the time. The French people like to go out.
You mean
bars, cafes.
You mean a part of music in general?
A part of music in general.
In
social life.
Yeah. In fact, the social life doesn't exist really because personally, I try to avoid to go to Paris because now we have a limit time. We have to be there at home at 6 p.m. these days, and yeah, there are no really social life. It's just go to job, go home, try to make a dinner and sleep. It's something like that. So that's why all the social media had such a great importance in the people's life these days, and that's why the things you are doing there are so important for people because having a link with people doing music or whatever, it's really, really, really important not to die.
Yeah. You have to have something.
Intellectually, yeah.
Right. Are there lots of corona deniers in France?
Corona what?
All of deniers. I don't know the right word.
Okay.
It's Bill Gates who wants to implant us a chip or whatever.
No, I think all the people. What I think, watching people in my country, they are convinced that something happening. Coronavirus is happening. They are more, they are not convinced by the government sometimes. The way the government is reacting, because we something in France, it's really slow and it's really surprising the decisions they make. Really surprising. If they find something that can work, they avoid it. It's really surprising. I don't understand how they work in their head. And so it's more complex. Something. Yeah, it's more the reaction of the people to what the government does. It's more something like that. They are not really denying the fact that there is an illness and things like that. Yeah,
I think that's something that is all over countries. We can
perhaps
see the same here, and you have I would not want to have this job as a politician or something like that.
Hard to
because
decide.
it's a tough. You need to take decisions.
Whatever you decide,
you have so many so-called self-called experts in medicine and.
Yeah, but my fear is that because people are now aware about viruses, but viruses has always exist. My fear is that now we are entering in a new era that everybody will be afraid of touching somebody or talking somebody. That's my fear really, because I think it can really change the way we are interact.
Interacting.
Really.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
And the problem is it's global, right?
Yeah.
Because we had influenza or something like this in
Yeah.
Paris, in France and in Germany, of course, but not all at the same time, and it didn't went global all over the world. That's
Yeah.
also a problem that some people don't see. But you, Monsieur Renaud, got even more productive during Corona, and you did another project.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that. Yeah.
You're afraid of that. You messed up some pop songs.
Yeah, I have a lot of projects. Life is too short. But I try really to do different things and be at places where people that are surprised to see me there.
Mm.
So yeah, I like to do 50 plug guitars, but I like to do fusion. I like to play with singers. I love to do that. I try to do that my best each time, even if it's totally different.
Yeah.
So
And
let's talk about
yeah,
your fusion solos. Let's first look to one. Actually, I have two favorites that I picked. When we prepared,
Yeah.
and one of it was a song that Ralph and me played 20 years ago, right? So in our
and
cover
it
band,
was an oldie already
yeah,
then.
it was. And you played a super fusion solo about that one. Let's look to that, and then we talk
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
Killer
It's not so pop.
solo.
Yeah.
The result is not pop at all.
No,
No.
but they should have had you there in the 80s
Yeah.
during the first recording.
Yeah, but I was 8.
More fun playing the song. But I have a question. So
Yeah.
that's a cooperation that you are doing, right, with the
Yeah,
guitar
I work
channel?
for a website, a famous website in France called Guitar Live, and they provide some guitar lessons. And I work with them for years. And what is hard, because my specialty, I would say, perhaps, I really focus on fusion. I try to explain to people how to play a little bit different from what they usually do. It can be for people who play blues. It can be for people who play jazz, who play rock, and I try to bring them some new vocabulary, to do different things. And fusion is about that. It's about, for me, using the rock energy with the jazz vocabulary. Basically, for me, that's it. The idea.
That would
And
be my question. What do you define as a fusion solo? Because sometimes even these pop songs have cool voicings and stuff. But what is
oh,
the key of a fusion solo?
it's really subjective, but for me, it's using most of the time a distorted sound and trying to insert some jazz licks, and trying really to pick things from the jazz vocabulary. It's not necessarily jazz licks, but jazz vocabulary, diminished scales, whatever, all this stuff, arpeggios, using things that you normally don't use in rock or in pop. And I really love that because people are really surprised sometimes. As I said, from one of the songs I've done a fusion solo, I had some messages. Why are you doing that? Is this a wrong note? Really? There is a wrong note there. And it really make me cry
cool.
of love because
Cool.
it's what I like. I like to have some tensions in the playing and try to resolve them. It's really a jazzy way to think, in fact, but with the rock energy. I like that.
So I think you did 5 or 6 already.
5, yeah, 5
5.
this time, and I will do series like that. And
So how do
for the
you pick
moment,
the songs?
oh, it's really subjective, you know. I have some daughters,
So
and personally, I don't really listen Ariana Grande. I can tell you, but I have some daughter. So when my daughters are listening to Dua Lipa or Ariana Grande, I listen to that. I say, oh, the chords are interesting. I could do something really different with that. And I try really to do something really different from the original song. That can be, I don't know, disco or funk or whatever. And I really try to put my licks in that.
should we
And what I try to do is proving that you can play fusion on
yeah.
everything, really.
Should we listen to the Dua Lipa, because that what I like with that one is that you start, I think, just playing the
Yeah,
theme,
yeah,
and
the
then
theme,
you
the
go
melody.
crazy with the fusion solo. I really love that. Should we look at that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I hope
You need to do
I won't
more of
have some
that.
complaints.
What?
I hope I won't have some complaints from Dua Lipa.
Yeah, her lawyer will call you tomorrow and
Yeah.
say,
What did you do?
what did you do? Come to LA, $5 million, please.
So we will see more of this, right? That's what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. It's something that I will feed regularly, and it's I try to do that 5 by 5 because it's a lot of work,
Yeah.
and try to because you can see the videos there, but it's in fact it's a full lesson each time for each song. It's a full lesson explaining how I do, explaining the vocabulary you can use, explaining
Okay.
the techniques and all you can do. The main idea is to give to give the people some tools. Okay, there are some solos that I written to make how it can sound, but it's more the idea is to give them some tools to do something in this spirit, in this way.
Yeah. But this is, coming back to fusion. Your
Yeah.
last album is already 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was yeah, that's it. Yes, yeah,
So,
15. Yeah,
so
yeah.
is there anything planned in the queue, or you have
Uh,
some ideas?
in fact, for my band, my personal band, I made a little pause because when I went in the 50 plug guitars project,
Okay.
it took all my energy and all my time. It's so long to write, and I'm being motivated by really this collective project. So for the moment, I've put a little pause, but I'm sure I will go back to my own band and all composing because I really like to compose. But these days, I try to really focus on the 50 plug guitars and trying to write a full show. In fact, a complete show with perhaps 1 hour and a half, I guess, with
Wow.
just music films written by written for guitars. And I would like really to have something with the guitars playing, perhaps with a screen, with extracts of the film, something like that, because I'm really convinced that music films are something we have all in our minds. Perhaps even if we are not specialists necessarily in music, we don't necessarily know who is the composer. A lot of people doesn't know who is John Williams, but everybody has heard the melodies of Star Wars, and
Yeah.
that was my idea, to try to really focus on famous music films and try to make them played by guitars.
Very cool. And you in your group was also a keyboard player who
Yeah.
I admire very much. It's Philip Sass.
I love this guy.
Actually, PSP,
Yeah.
Georg recorded a concert of PSP and did a great interview with those guys in
Oh,
Belgium, and it's our most viewed episode.
oh, really?
So, how did you come together with Philip?
Oh, Philippe is French. Philippe is French. He's living in LA, but he left France really early. In fact, I think he was 20 or something like that. And when I was young, I was, I was listening to Jarreau. I was listening to Chaka Khan, David Bowie, and each time I was trying to read what was the musicians, because the musicians was the more important thing for me. I was looking, Philip says, but who is Philip says? It was really a mystery for me. So I tried to do some searching, and I thought that he was French, and he worked with a famous French singer. I'm not sure you know him. It's Claude Nougaro. I don't know if you know him. It's
No.
a famous French singer, and once in his life, this famous singer left France too. He said, "Okay, stop with that," because nobody wanted to to produce him.
Oh, really?
He was 50 or 55, perhaps 60. Nobody wanted to produce him in France, so he left France. He's gone in California, and then Philip Sess was there, and Philip Sess wrote all the arrangements of his disc, and his disc was the most sold of Claude Nougaro. So I said in myself, okay, I have to meet this guy. And he was playing with Simon Phillips. He was playing with all those guys. He was playing amazing. So I tried to put in touch with him, and he was really nice. And he said, okay, Renaud, let's do an album together. And he was really kind enough to give me one of his compositions that he's made with Simon Phillips, that was originally made for PSP. The song was named Zeku Pedadu, and he gave me this song, and he said, "Okay, Renaud, do an arrangement by yourself." And I've made an arrangement, and it's on the Epic Circles album. It's really a beautiful melody, really cool.
It's a killer song. Let's listen to it for a minute, yeah?
Oh yeah,
We
cool.
have this here. 1 second.
It's Philip's voice.
Yeah, it sounds really,
Vocoder.
PSP-like.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, this is my kind of fusion.
I love that. Yeah,
love it.
I love
Me
that.
too.
I remind something concerning this song, because they were initially played that with Simon Phillips and Pino Palladino, and Philip says that told me, I have a problem with this song, because there are two different parts in this song. This really kind of groovy part, and then there is a faster part, faster section after that. And the problem was to switch from one to the other. And I remember Philip Sess was telling me that with Simon Phillips, he was doing a sort of drums break, to go from one to the other. And they weren't satisfied about that. And I tried to find a combination to go from one to the other. And I find a way to do that with the drums changing, and the other musicians keep on doing the groovy way, you know. And so it was something really cool to work on. I found a way, and Philippe was really happy to do for that, because he said, "Oh, okay, you found a way to make that more musical." It was really cool. Yeah.
Amazing.
Great. I have to tell you something that you already know, but you have a great tone on your guitar.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about your guitar, about your, I think you play the Laney amp setup.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm
For the
really.
guitarists out there, can you describe what you other
Yeah,
effects you have on the floor or something?
I don't know if you see there is an angle head, and just below there is a Laney head. Not sure you can see it.
Yeah, we
So
can
I play
see.
with that. Yeah, 50. Yeah, it's really cool. I love the sound I have now, because before, you know, I've went like all the guitar players. I've went with all those racks and all those stuffs with
So
with things that you can't you can't move.
200
And
kilos of
yeah,
effects.
yeah, and I really reduced that. So now I just have my Tom Anderson guitar. I'm really proud of that, because it's a guitar. I had a chance to meet Tom personally, and he made this guitar for me with really personal specifications. I think it was in perhaps 212, I guess, and just after the first album. And I met him, and he really built a wonderful guitar with really personal specifications concerning the neck and all the stuff, with special switches to have. It's just for guitar players, you know.
No,
But
that's cool. That's cool.
yeah, I have a special switches that just work on the neck bridge and not on this one. And it's
Yeah.
really important for me, because I love to switch from, you know, this really full tone to this one. It's just with one switch to try to have the full humbucker, or just to split it. It's
Yeah.
really, it's not something new, you know, but it was something new for this model. So Tom had to write a specific schematic for that guitar. And usually the same, in fact, the same knob is working for both of the humbuckers. So he done something special for me, because I don't want to have this one splitted. It's not useful for me. So I'm really proud of this guitar. After that, I go in a bunch of different distortion, but I really love the BB preamp pedal, which is just a crunchy sound I'm playing now. Yeah, with a lot of
nice.
yeah, it's cool. I love that.
Yeah.
With a delay, and also I have a reverb. And when I want something more distorted, I use the Blackstar HT Dual pedal. I really like that. And then, like, currently, I'm using a French material. It's a sort of amp simulator. See what I mean? Because I'm leaving the pedals, and I'm going in the amp simulator, and then I goes in the sound card, because it's something really really cool. It's called the Torpedo. It's built by a French brand whose name is Two Notes Audio, and they are specialized in simulators. And it's really cool, because you can choose, you know, the kind of amp. You can choose the kind of microphone you are simulating. You can choose the kind of power amp and all the stuff, and the cabinet. It's really cool, because doing that, it has a sound that is really natural, I think. I love it. Really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It has a nice crunchy touch,
Yeah.
but it's so clear you can hear every note. It's not.
That's it.
You know,
yeah.
It's interesting that there's this renaissance of, I don't know how to describe, from what you said, you know, in the 80s and 90s, everybody had these huge racks, you know, like refrigerators, you know, with, you know, effects and stuff like that. Everything needed to be digital and blah.
Yeah,
and
I was a fan of Steve. I was a fan
kind
of Steve
interesting.
Lukather.
You had the coming back to the analog, you know, pedals.
Yeah, I
with
think
all
at
the
what
stuff, but
time,
then also in combination with the virtualization of
yeah,
simulators running, it's kind of interesting. It's
yeah,
happening
really,
both at the same time. Coming back to minimized
you're
setup,
right.
but
You're
also
right.
great possibilities of virtualization.
Perhaps it's just because we are getting older.
Make it
And all
You
easier,
don't want to carry
please.
heavy stuff.
we have to carry all this stuff. And I think perhaps also, in the 80s, as you said, there was this mood to trying to catch this iffy sound, and something you realize when you play in a band and when you play live is just nobody cares about that. People are I mean, people are hearing the sound, and they can't know if you are using a refrigerator, or something like you
Mm,
said, or just a pedal in an amp.
Yeah.
They're not. They
that's
can't
right.
do.
Yeah.
So at one time, this kind of searching for the perfect sound. It's cool when you are playing alone, but or recording perhaps. But when you play in a band, there are so many informations depending on
Mhm.
the mixing, on the sound engineer, that at one point there's no use to do that. So it's really cool to go to easier way to manage your sound. And there is another reason. The more you have, the more stuff you have, the more reason it can be it can be how can I say,
It will fail.
not working,
It will
failing. Yeah,
fail. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. You are multiplying, yeah, the reasons to fail. So just some pedals going to an amp, and
When
that's
we
okay.
we started 2 years or 3 years ago, we started with these live sessions in our studio, and I started to do all the audio editing and everything, and I had somebody recommending to me when I was thinking about plugins for mixing.
Yeah,
He told me, no, don't buy too much.
yeah,
Get 3 or 4 plugins you really know how to use.
yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
And
Yeah,
that's working up to today. And it gives
yeah,
great
yeah.
results.
The
Yeah.
simplest is the
Yeah.
better sometimes. Yeah, right.
So
And
I have a wish. Yeah, Ralph.
yeah, before we're going to talk about another project of Renault, I would like to ask if somebody is now interested to become your student. Do you do online teaching? And
that
where can the
that's
guys
an
reach you?
that's an excellent question. Thank you, Ralph. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think I'm half a teacher and half a musician. My life is divided in two, and I really love to teach. And of course, I give some Skype lessons internationally. So I have students in everybody in the world. I have students in Hawaii, in Peru, in Mexico, in
Cool.
Australia, and I have some really famous students. Some of my students are more famous than me. It's a shame.
Really? Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I think you've heard about perhaps an Australian guy called Callum, the heavy metal kid. He's went to Australia Got Talent. He was playing
Mhm.
Ozzy Osbourne's things. He was like that playing and singing Metallica things. He's
Yeah.
amazing. I have another French student. Perhaps you've heard about it, Tina
No.
S. If you
Mhm.
write that on YouTube, you will see Tina S has perhaps 100 million views.
Oh, come on,
Wow.
really? Yeah.
It's something. It's a mystery. Yeah, I have really great students. I'm really lucky for that.
Yeah.
And that's cool. These days with the coronavirus, I give a lot of Skype lesson in all the world. So
Mm.
I'm traveling, but staying in my
Yeah.
studio. You know,
Do you
it's
do you also take beginners or
yeah, yeah, of
mediocre
course,
players, or
yeah.
do you have to have a
People,
certain level?
yeah, people could be perhaps afraid when we are speaking about fusions and a lot of
Mm.
virtuosity and all the stuff. But I have a lot of just beginners. I love to teach. See what I mean? And when you love to teach, you love every
So
kind of
I
difficulty
might
because
I might call you.
okay, that's cool. Teaching is basically trying to understand how the people you have in front of you is functioning. because there are a lot of different ways to teach the same thing. It really depends on the people. Some people are more intellectual. You have really to explain them how it works. Some people are more perhaps visual. They have to visualize how it works. So that's what I love in teaching. It's really different each time. So that's cool.
Very good, very good. And now we're going to talk about Jarreau's partner in crime that you met.
So you got in contact with Chris Walker, right?
Yeah. He's amazing. Chris is an amazing singer.
I asked you before we started our live stream, you know, how did that happen? You know, and it was a funny story because, you know, you just wrote him on Facebook, right?
I'll try to tell you. Yeah, in fact, I saw. You have to know that I am a huge fan of Jarreau. As I said, when I was 20, I was looking for the CDs and trying to see who was the musician, and it was each time amazing. All these guys, Steve Porcaro, Jeff Porcaro, Steve Lukather, all those people playing. I was Steve Gadd. It was amazing, and I'm still a huge fan of his music. And I even tried to do a tribute band 10 years ago, but it wasn't it wasn't such a success because in France nobody knows Jarreau. It's surprising, but Jarreau is really known perhaps in Germany, of course in the USA, but in France, you know, people know a few hits, but that's all.
And, maybe because he has a French last name. And people think, okay, this is just another chansonnier.
Perhaps. He's from Paris, Montmartre.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Just some
perhaps you're right,
stuff. No.
No, and perhaps it's 4, I don't know, a few months, 6 months ago, I was on Facebook and I see Chris Walker. He was playing on a concert, and then I know this guy. I saw him in Nice in France. He was playing with Jarreau as a bass player, and he made an incredible bass solo, and then he started to sing. My God. People were, there are 2 Jarreaus? It was amazing.
And so like him, right?
Yeah, and recently I saw a video of him singing and playing, and I said in myself, I have to be in touch with this guy. He's playing so well, and he's singing Jarreau so well. I really would like to do something with him. So I tried to be in touch with him, and I wrote to him with Facebook, and he was really kind enough to answer me, and we had a really kind discussion, and he was really happy to my proposition. I proposed to him to do something together concerning about Jarreau, and he said, well, what we could do is a duet, so let's do a duet. Let's do a Skype, and I will sing you my ideas. So we had a Skype. I was in the studio, you are viewing me, same studio, and he was driving his car in Houston, and he didn't have the video. He just had the audio. So we tried to discuss together, and at one point he sung to me the arrangement he was he was having in mind, and it was surrealistic because I was writing, you know. And he was singing, oh, what you can do is 2 bars of this chord, and then and for the ending we could do and I was writing. And it
what
was
did you write? How did you write Wakataka R?
Oh, really easy. Wakataka. Oh, really easy. And at one point it was really short, you know, perhaps 10 minutes, and it was over. So I wrote it. I've gone to the studio, shot myself playing the thing, and then I sent it to him. He done his own video, and then I put it back, and I've done the video editing, and I'm really happy about that. And we will keep on doing things together. I think next week I will be shooting another song from Jarreau. So I really love to work with this guy. It's so easy. He sings so well. Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Should we
You're incredible.
Look
Thank you.
for 1 minute to this great clip?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Here we go. Your love is range, my heart's a fly. I need your kiss, alright, my darling. My very life is in your power. Will the flourish perish? I will I blossom to the sky. I want you, baby. I want you, baby. Come on, I want you, baby. I want you, baby. Come
He's so close with his voice to El
This is
Jarreau,
El
Yeah.
Jarreau. It's like his ghost.
especially with those nasal sounds.
It's amazing. Yeah. He really has this spirit, you know, trying to do the basses, the percussions, the vocals, and it's so full of informations.
Yeah,
It's really cool. Yeah.
awesome, awesome.
So, but you are playing acoustic guitar, right?
Yeah.
So
I love to do that.
actually,
Yeah.
for me, it was first time, you know, seeing you with acoustic. Are you doing a lot of acoustic guitar stuff, or what? That?
Yeah, I like that, but usually I do that more when I'm alone. I really have to have a nylon guitar and play, you know, leaning to myself. Really try to play, but I don't play so much. It's usually when I play with artists, with singers. I love to have some you know, acoustic guitars or still strings guitars. I love it too. I have a Taylor that is really sounding well, and I love that. But that's, you're right. Usually people see me with my
Yeah.
my blue guitar, always the same guitar, and they don't know that I can play acoustic guitar. But I love that really.
Great clip. So we will see more, right? That's what you were saying.
Yeah, you will
with
have.
Chris.
Don't worry, you will have.
with,
Thank
also
you.
with Chris Walker. That one.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Whatever comes up into your mind,
yeah.
please share.
Yeah, I hope. I think. Yeah, I hope next month perhaps we will have a new video with Chris Walker, and it's about an Jarreau song, but I won't tell you now. It's a mystery. Okay.
Okay. A surprise.
We wait for it. We wait for it.
Exactly.
We will follow you and we'll find out as soon
Yeah.
as it will
That's
be
cool.
published.
That's
And
cool.
we look forward to more fusion solos and more from your music. You know, we really like it.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you, guys. It's really cool. Of course, like on the pop fusion, it will keep on going, and we'll try to find five others songs, and I will do that 5 by 5, and I will try to have if you have some ideas of pop
Yeah, of
songs,
course we.
tell
Of
me.
course
Really,
we have.
tell me. It can
Let's
be
let's
cool.
see.
We can
Ralph
do.
will ask his kids.
Yeah, perhaps you can
Yeah, I
ask.
can ask my daughter. She is a great
Yeah.
fan of what's One Direction,
Oh yeah.
and
Okay.
the one singer of One Direction. What
I don't know his
what's
name.
his
Yeah.
name?
I don't know.
Oh,
His name. Yeah.
she would slap me now because she always plays this music to me in the car and stuff. And but he does great music. He's so 70 oriented, you know, and
it's cool. It's cool. Yeah,
yeah.
really. But what we could do is
I'm gonna
perhaps
find
ask
out.
we could ask the people which are looking now the episode if they have any ideas of pop. I don't know, pop songs that they would like to hear with fusion solos.
Yeah, then they can
Yeah.
contact you. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
you
of
say.
course. Or yeah, it can be cool.
Yeah, Harry Styles. That's
Okay.
his name.
Yeah.
Listen
Okay.
to listen to some Harry Styles. He
Okay.
has some great songs.
It's a personal recommendation.
Yeah. And next time I get my daughter here and she's listening.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
That's
Thank you
was
so
an
much.
awesome evening.
That was
here.
an excellent talk. You know, wow, we were almost 1.5 hours. You know, it's
It's okay. That's cool.
time flies. It was so cool, so great stories as always.
Yeah, thank you again for inviting me. It's really always a pleasure, and that's cool to talk about different things, really, because
Yeah.
usually people asking me about one project, so that's really cool to speak about all this universe. That's
Maybe
cool.
let's
Thank
for
you.
next time. Let's not wait 4 years.
No.
Let's do that. Okay, you're right.
When we
Okay.
come, when we can, we would like to come to Paris one day and check
Okay,
out
come
the
on.
Parisian jazz and fusion scene.
Yeah, I
And
let you see.
maybe we can join
Of
there.
course.
And
Not too far away. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you see there are really cool places to play
Yeah,
and
we
to
will.
enjoy jazz music. It's really cool. But
Yeah.
I think you know that, Ralph, because you know a little bit Paris.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
girlfriend in Paris a long time
Oh,
ago.
that's cool.
Oh,
It was the scoop of this episode. That's cool.
Yeah.
great.
Okay, guys,
Thanks for your time. That was amazing.
you're welcome. Ready?
And
That's really cool.
stay healthy, stay cool, keep on the music.
I'll try to do my best. Okay, bye bye, and bye bye to everybody, and thank you.
Thank you, Renaud.
Bye bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.
Take care.